Sebastian Fundora started off with a good plan for leveraging his height and reach advantage over the champion Tszyu. He doubled and tripled up his jab early, and he hoped to make it difficult for Tim to close the distance and counter him. But the fact that Fundora is a 6'6" southpaw who stepped in to replace the injured Keith Thurman 12 days prior to the fight mandated a big adjustment for Tim. Despite Fundora's good strategy, Tim was able to slip inside the jab and land his right hand. He covered the long distance that was created by both the open stance matchup and by Fundora's reach by either shifting into southpaw with his right or by stepping around Fundora's lead foot to get to the outside angle. And when Fundora threw his left hand behind his jab, Tim slipped inside that as well and came over the top with an overhand right. The success of his counters was quickly putting Fundora against the ropes, exactly where Tim likes to trap his opponent so he can snowball his offense as the fight goes on. Tim was also prepared to engage in the lead hand fight against the southpaw, covering Fundora's right glove with his to obstruct the jab, giving him the ability to close the distance and land his right hand. Everything changed though when, at the end of the second round, Tim ran the top of his head into the elbow of Fundora's guard, immediately opening up a gash that would entirely alter the course of the fight. Tim decided to fight through the cut though, rather than accepting a no contest. But this meant that throughout the remaining 10 rounds, Tim struggled to see and had to keep trying to use his glove to wipe out the blood of his eyes, which is no easy thing to do. Meanwhile, Fundora's double jab started working more and more as Tim was unable to see it coming well enough to regularly slip and counter it as he was doing in the first 2 rounds. This also prevented Tim from being able to pressure Fundora to the ropes, trapping him in a long-range battle with an opponent who claimed a 9-inch reach and height advantage over him. Tim found some success with his left hook counter, which he swept across to catch Fundora as he leaned forward with his rear hand. And he also compensated for his lack of sight by hopping forward into close range and targeting the body. That he could still slip some of the jabs to get inside was remarkable, as he was likely relying almost entirely on instinct at this point. It was an awesome display of grit and determination from Tszyu, and he never stopped trying to win the fight, despite the blood pouring down his face. Ultimately, the judges gave Fundora the decision, and we're all left wondering what the fight would have looked like without that cut. There will undoubtedly be a rematch, so let me know in the comments if you think Tszyu will be able to reclaim his title.